Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. Hope you guys are staying safe. I hope everything's good. So, guys, you know what? I've been making a lot of Manny Pacquiao videos, and a guy that's been overlooked is Ugas. And we were having a discussion about Ugas in the live stream yesterday, and about how competitive we think this fight is, how great we think this fight is, and I felt Ugas is being overlooked a little. Steven and Dusty were having a back and forth, and Steven thought that Dusty was being a bit harsh on how good he thinks Ugas is. Dusty was saying this style is all wrong, and Pacquiao's going to destroy him. Ugas really isn't a top-level fighter like a Spence. I remember watching the Porter fight with Ugas, and I thought, what a performance. What a performance, And I'll tell you why I thought that at the time. And I've gone back and looked at the performance again. And now I was looking at the performance, comparing it to what chance I had give him against Manny Pacquiao. I remember Dusty mentioning on the live stream yesterday that, Ugas gets hit a lot. I went back and watched the fight with Sean Porter, and Ugas was getting caught flush with huge punches. The thing was, Sean Porter's not known for being a big puncher. He's not known for being a big puncher at all. If we watch Sean Porter's look throughout his career, guys like Phil LaGreco, Formella, and several other guys have managed to go the distance with him. He's not known. He's more of a volume guy. He's more of a guy that swarms you, a pressure fighter. But he's not really a big banger. He's not really a big puncher. He's not somebody that's going to hit you with a shot and get you out of there. That's not how Sean Porter... that's not Sean Porter. A punching power is not something that we look at Sean Porter and say this is a serious puncher. He's more of a guy that overwhelms you. He's a pressure fighter. But at the time, I got carried away with Ugas' performance. Now going back and reviewing it, I'll tell you why. Because I looked at Ugas when he fought Sean Porter as a massive underdog. So I wasn't really expecting much from Ugas at the time, even though I knew about Ugas' amateur background and what he had accomplished as an amateur. So I knew he was a good fighter. But I expected Sean Porter to beat him quite comfortably. I actually thought Ugas won that fight. So I gave Ugas, because I was looking at Ugas as an underdog in that fight, I probably gave Ugas a bit too much credit. Not to say he's not a good fighter, he is. But now going back and reviewing it, I'd have to agree with some of Mackay and Dusty that I actually think Manny... I'm not going to go as far as they're saying that it's a completely terrible fight. And Ugas does have better movement than I think they were suggesting. I do think he moves better than what they were suggesting. Because I've looked at him extensively now, not just the Porter fight, but other fights. He is a better mover than what they were suggesting on the live stream from what I've seen. However, his defense isn't great. He gets hit a lot. In that Porter fight, like I said, he was getting caught a lot. And Porter's quick. He's not as quick as Manny Pacquiao, though. He hasn't got the hand speed of Manny Pacquiao. Most importantly, he hasn't got the power of Manny Pacquiao. There's no way Ugas can trade like that against Manny Pacquiao and be standing after 12 rounds. Ugas is going to have to come in with... he's going to have to be defensively a lot more sound than what he showed against Porter. Because if he comes out with that aggressive, letting shots go, leaving himself wide open, getting caught with flush shots like he was against Porter, he's not going to make it to 12 rounds. Let's be honest. Pacquiao's not Porter. Porter's not blessed with punching power. Pacquiao is. Pacquiao has speed and power. So it's not just the speed that's going to shock you. It's the power as well. And I just think Ugas, for me, is a little bit too open. So Ugas is going to have to be a lot more defensively sound than what he showed in the Porter fight. Because let's be honest, that's not going to cut it against Manny Pacquiao. We've just got to be brutally honest. If you leave yourself open like that and get hit with flush shots against Pacquiao like that, you're going to be in serious trouble. So Ugas is going to have to be he's going to have to be a lot more defensively sound if he wants to go the distance. However, Mike made a good point on the live stream yesterday. With Pacquiao, you've got to take it fight by fight because we don't know where Pacquiao's at. We don't know where Pacquiao's at, and Father Time could catch up at any point because he is a lot older. Manny Pacquiao is getting to the stage of his career where you start to say that, you know, is he gonna when's that bad performance gonna come? Is it gonna come this fight? And every fight is fight to fight basis when we're judging Manny Pacquiao right now because we don't know when he's gonna grow old, and it happens. It happens to every fighter that fights on late into their 40s. You know, we know that there's a chance that they may go into the ring and they may not be the fighter that we are used to seeing. And Pacquiao, that could happen against Ugas. Because from what I've seen, and actually now going back and watching tape of Ugas again, I actually agree with Dusty and Mackay. I think Pacquiao's going to stop him. I think Pacquiao's going to knock Ugas out. I think Ugas is defensively not sound enough. From what I saw in the Porter fight, he's not defensively sound enough. Like I said, I probably at the time gave Ugas a lot more credit because I was looking at him as the underdog and I wasn't expecting a lot from the Porter fight. I wasn't expecting him in terms of doing much in that Porter fight. And he did great in that Porter fight. I actually thought he won. So he exceeded my expectations of what I thought he'd be in that fight. And by performing the way he did and performing out of his skin and him, in my opinion, winning the fight, I probably got carried away with how skilled he is. Because for me, he beat Sean Porter. Firstly, Sean Porter himself is a very, very good fighter. But he's also got flaws, which Ugas was able to take advantage of. Also, Sean Porter, in my opinion, fought the wrong fight. He was trying to fight from the inside, where really what Porter should have done is fought his normal fight. You know, the pressure fighting right on top of you, making it uncomfortable. Whereas Porter tried to show that he's a boxer. And to me, that's not Porter's style. That's not Porter's style. And I felt like Ugas won the fight because of the fact that I think Porter administered the wrong tactics. I think he tried to be clever. He tried to box. And Ugas, for me, is the better boxer out of the two. Porter needed to make it a rough and tough fight. He needed to swarm him like he does against all the other guys he fought. Top welterweights he fought. However, from what I've seen and what I've studied of Ugas today and yesterday when I went back and looked at more tape, I actually think he defensively is weak, and that's what Pacquiao is going to take advantage of if he comes and fights the same way he did against Porter. Because I just think Manny Pacquiao's too fast, he hits too hard. You have to be defensively sound against Pacquiao. And if he gets hit the way he got hit against Sean Porter, the fight's not going to go 12 rounds. It's not going to go 12 rounds, guys. Dusty and Mackay were right. I just don't see it going 12 rounds if he fights the same way that he did against Sean Porter. So we're gonna see how much Ugas can adapt from fight to fight. And not just with Manny Pacquiao. He can't fight the way he did against Porter, against Errol Spence. Because Errol Spence would do the same as what Pacquiao would do. But Ugas, he is big, he's tall, right? And he does go for it. He's not a guy that's he's gonna go for it. You know, he does let his hands go. However, if you're an Ugas fan or you're looking at it from Ugas's point of view, his defense is going to be a problem. If he's as loose as he was against Porter, you cannot afford to be that loose against Manny Pacquiao. It's not going to end very well for you. You know, getting caught with flush right hands and the way he was against Porter. Porter wasn't a big puncher, so you can get away with it. Pacquiao's a serious puncher. You know, he's a concussive puncher. I know at welterweight his punching power hasn't hasn't, his punching power isn't what it was at the smaller weight class. However, he still, especially in his prime, he showed that he could get welterweights out of there. However, if you're a welterweight that's leaving yourself open and you're loose and you're making mistakes, then that's dangerous, because Pacquiao still has the kind of power to hurt you badly as well. Pacquiao's very, very dangerous even now. We saw that in the Thurman fight. He put Thurman down heavy, and that was a mistake. Thurman was pulling back, made a mistake, and got caught. But I do agree. I do see Pacquiao stopping Ugas in this fight. And going off that Porter performance, I personally think Pacquiao wins this fight by stoppage. That's my take on this fight. I would love to know your prediction. What do you guys think? Do you think I'm being a bit too harsh? Do you think Ugas will make it the distance? Manny Pacquiao hasn't had a knockout in a long time. Do some of you think Ugas is going to win? Do you think Ugas is going to win this fight? I think the general consensus is of everybody that Manny Pacquiao is going to beat Ugas. I think it's how he looks doing it. That's what the general consensus I get from everybody. Everybody seems to think Manny Pacquiao is going to win this fight. But there's also that thought in the back of people's mind that is Father Time going to catch up? Is this the night Manny Pacquiao is going to become old? Is this the night that Manny Pacquiao is not going to be the Manny Pacquiao? Is this the night Manny Pacquiao is finally going to bow out from the sport? Like I said, as Mike pointed out on the live stream, when you're as old as Manny Pacquiao is at this stage in his career, it's fight-to-fight basis. You take it a fight at a time. I hope that Manny Pacquiao doesn't lose for the sake, because I would love to see Manny Pacquiao fight Crawford or Spence, and it'd be a shame for us because if he was to lose, let's be honest, I think he's going to retire. But if he was to win, then there's still the possibility of the Terence Crawford and Errol Spence fight, which, let's be honest, we want to see those fights. And let's be honest, we were all gutted. We were all gutted that those fights aren't happening. We're all gutted. Let's be honest. We're all devastated that that fight's not happening. But unfortunately, that's boxing. These things happen. But at least we get to see a Pacquiao fight. At least we get to see Pacquiao fight Ugas, which again it's a good fight. It's a good fight. It's not as intriguing as the Spence fight because Ugas isn't as good as Spence. It's quite obvious. But nevertheless, it's a good replacement. It's a good replacement for Pacquiao. At this stage, it's a good replacement. I think, who else are you going to get on that short notice? And Ugas was on the card, so it makes perfect sense, for Ugas to fight Pacquiao. And I think what adds more spice to it is the fact that Manny Pacquiao is fighting for his belt, essentially, because, Manny Pacquiao got stripped. Although they said they was a champion in recess, he ultimately got stripped because they never reinstated him. So Manny Pacquiao now will be... So it's worked out well for Manny in the sense that Manny's going to be fighting for his belt that he effectively should have right now. He's going to be fighting for it, which adds a little bit more spice to it. It motivates Manny Pacquiao, so it's not like Manny Pacquiao will be demotivated because Spencer's pulled out. No, he's motivated because he wants to get his belt back that, they gave to Ugas, which Manny thinks was unjustly taken off him. So, Manny is going to be fighting with that motivation that he wants to get his belt back. Also, who knows what Manny Pacquiao's goal is? Manny Pacquiao's goal may still be to become undisputed welterweight world champion. So he may want to be undisputed champion. So, we don't know what Manny's overall goal is. Is his goal just to beat one of Spence or Crawford? Is it to become undisputed and then retire? What's his goal? So what's he fighting for? Is he fighting to continue to add to it? Because I don't think Manny Pacquiao would fight Ugas and then just call it a day, because I still feel like he'll feel there's something left, especially if he puts in a good performance. If he loses, then that's it. That's it, But if he beats Ugas and beats him emphatically, I think he'll feel that there's still one or two more left before he hangs up. I feel like if Manny Pacquiao loses and loses badly to anyone now, I think that's it. But if he wins emphatically against Ugas, I just can't see him saying, that's it. Can you really see him saying that's it if he beats Ugas emphatically? And then he'll still have that hunger to fight either Spence or Crawford because he knows what that do for his legacy. But that's just my opinion. Leave your thoughts, guys. What do you guys think? Give me your predictions in the comment section. How do you think this fight goes? I'm going Manny Pacquiao round 9 stoppage. Leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, guys. And guys, remember to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.